What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today, well, good news, quite frankly, ladies and gentlemen, good news. We've finally got the big expansion reveal. We knew that about every 6 months over in Marvel Champions Land, we were going to be getting a big box expansion. Not your usual one hero pack or one scenario pack, not that there's anything wrong with them, of course. But we were going to be getting something a little bit better, a little bit bigger, a little bit more exciting. Well, the good news is we are getting it. It has been confirmed, and remember, this was teased a while ago. We knew it was the something of something. Well, it has now been confirmed to be the rise of Red Skull. Yeah, that's right. It's all to do with the rise of Red Skull. Now, one point, and we will get into everything we know in a moment, this story box was supposed to be released in July. Originally, and I'm going to do, because we're not going to be able to talk that much about this, I'll tell you everything we know, give you a bunch of conjecture, but we're going to finish off the video with an updated release schedule, which I think is about right at this stage. But one very important thing to note, this looks like it's been delayed. This was due to come out in July. We were literally told campaign expansion arriving July, and we were also told story box July. We were told July. But if you have a look at the picture that's been shared, it clearly says Q4. Q4 is October, November, December, the fourth quarter of the year, the last 3 months. So October, November, December. So assuming it comes in the first of those 3 months, and we have no reason to believe that it will, just as an example, let's say that it comes out in the first of those 3 months. Yeah, July and October aren't the same thing. In fact, July and October are 3 months apart. So best case scenario, this is 3 months late. However, before we all start jumping on the bandwagon and being really rude to the people who spend a lot of time and effort making the games we love, might I remind you that at the moment, production in China, where I believe a lot of this stuff happens, is not going so well because of the whole coronavirus thing. Production in many parts of the world and distribution, logistics, etc. is disrupted and will be for some time to come. So that's almost certainly the meaning of the delay. That does leave the rest of the year looking a little bit sparse, though, because as it looks at the moment, we basically got the Black Widow, Doctor Strange, and Hulk expansions, the hero packs coming, and then this. So if this comes in like November, then that means 3 hero packs and then a story box, and that's pretty much the end of the year at that stage. Oh. But, like I say, there are a lot of outside factors. This is not the only game that is going to be affected by this as we move forward. So what do we know about it? Well, we clearly know that the Red Skull is going to be the villain. That seems pretty gosh darned obvious. And this is kind of nice. Of course, Advance was one of the most feared cards in the core set. And somebody did comment that on the Facebook post. I know I'm not the only one that thinks that. But Advance was, Advance is kind of mean. When revealed, the villain schemes. Now, this has always been a card that's terrified me, if nobody else, because you see, the villain schemes even if you're in hero mode. And I cannot be the only one that occasionally accepts the fact that, my opponent's 1 or 2 threat away from winning the game. But I'm in hero mode, there'll be 1 threat placed at the beginning of the villain phase. But then that's it, I'm going to be fine, and then the villain schemes. Or they scheme and they flip over a boost card with 3 boost icons and win the game. This has always been one of the best cards for a random, how did that happen? And then you've lost. So it's kind of cool that we're now getting Red Skull as a proper villain. It also looks a lot like MODOK. And Hydra generally, to be honest, are going to be featured in here. So, and we had MODOK before, came as a minion in the core set. Not one of the more terrifying minions, but having said that, 8 health plus Retaliate 2. Yeah, maybe it was one of the more terrifying minions. Either way, Looks like we're getting a bit of the old MODOK. Might not. That's a little bit of conjecture, but it looks like we might. Now, in terms of heroes, the box basically confirms 2 heroes. It confirms Hawkeye, and it confirms Spider-Woman. And again, both of these are heroes that we've actually seen before. Hawkeye came along in the core set again, one of the leadership cards, and had a nice little mechanic. It entered play with 4 arrow counters, and when a minion entered play, you removed an arrow counter to deal 2 damage to the incoming minion. That was kind of fun. And similarly, Spider-Woman was also an ally that we saw back in the core set. Came around as part of the Captain Marvel deck, which again shouldn't surprise you if you know much about the comics. And it was alright. 2/2/2, and you confuse the villain when you come into play. So that was quite nice. And, you know, Spider-Woman, Captain Marvel, they're kind of buddies. They get on. So it's quite nice that we're getting these recycled, and yes, I know that you might not like the recycling, but bearing in mind we're getting a Hulk hero pack after having had Hulk as an ally in the core set, and I love Hulk as an ally in the core set, right? Because it's just a little bit terrifying. Because it can damage you, or it can come out and then immediately go away, or it can just start doing lots of damage. And it's just fun, I'm honest with you. It's just an awful lot of fun. And then, of course, we had Iron Man being a main character, one of the heroes, only to then end up as a minion in an upcoming expansion. It's in the Doctor Strange hero pack, I should add. So yes, we're getting heroes that have previously been allies, but they're only going to be numbers 3 and 4, so I don't think we should be terribly worried about it. Cool. So that's what we know. We know it's coming Q4. We know Red Skull. We know Hawkeye. We know Spider-Woman. I'm psyched about Spider-Woman, incidentally. But that's basically what we know. But where does that leave us in terms of release date? Well, in terms of release date, we've just seen the release of 4. 4 is the one that's coming out this month, which means that so far we've had released, in terms of hero packs, we've had Miss Marvel, Captain America, and Thor. And in terms of scenario packs, we've had the Wrecking Crew and the Green Goblin. That's what we've already had released. Now, there are no more scenario packs on the horizon, which means that by the time we get to this story box, the hero packs are going to massively outnumber the scenario packs. 6-2 or 3-1. But arriving in April, we're getting ourselves a little bit of the old Black Widow. The hook of Black Widow is the preparation cards. And when you're in hero mode, after you trigger the ability of a preparation card, you deal 1 damage to an enemy. And preparation cards basically say that after something happens, something happens. So Widow's Bite, after a minion enters play, you discard it and deal 2 damage to that minion and stun it. Pretty good against minions. Then we move forward exactly 1 month, and we end up with the Doctor Strange hero pack in May, the hook of which is the Invocation deck. A 5-card deck that sits off to the side, face up, and you can essentially play cards from instead of using Doctor Strange in a different way, which is a really fun little hook. So they've actually got really new mechanics, new types of cards, which are going to be extremely interesting. And then in June, we're getting the Hulk hero pack, which was recently revealed. I've done videos on all of these. I'll link them in the description. And the thing I suppose we see about Hulk is full bore aggression. 3 attack, 3 defense, 0 thwart. Yeah, that's going to be a very interesting way to play Hulk. Although we also do see the first card so far that gives you 3 resources. That alone should make us all a little bit excited. And then we've got this, which was supposed to be coming in July, but is no longer coming in July. Oh. It's now coming in Q4, which should be October at the earliest. Does that mean we're not getting anything between July and October? Does it mean that some of the hero packs are going to be delayed as well? honestly, with the whole coronavirus thing, I think that is moderately likely. Does it mean that we're going to be in an awkward position of going months without releases? Put it this way, I don't think we're getting anything between Hulk and the Rise of the Red Skull. I think that would be unlikely. So I suppose, fingers crossed, we get these as soon as possible. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That's the story pack. Well, it's called Story Box and it's also called Campaign Expansion. Both those are terms used in the tease during the 4 reveal. And we know a bit about them. And we should all be getting excited. And now we have a little bit of an update on the release schedule as well. Although very much subject to change. For now, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to know what you think about all this, so I'd like it if you let me know in the comment section. Go nuts, be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and follow me on Twitter at the Wossy, where we talk, well, Marvel Champions and a whole bunch of other games. And do please consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, all that kind of fun stuff. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.